The Boston Symphony Orchestra and Boston Pops will give a free outdoor concert this Sunday at Franklin Park. The event marks the beginning of a 3-year collaboration with arts organizations in Jamaica Plain. To tell us what's planned is our guest from the BSO, the Chief Operating and Communications Officer, Kim Noltemy. Thank you very much for being with us, Kim.
Oh, thanks for having me.
First of all, and this is something that the orchestra doesn't do every year, but why get this started now?
Well, you know, we were taking a look at all of our programs and activities, and we decided that we have a lot of great things happening, but most of it's in Symphony Hall. And wouldn't it be great if we could be out in the communities? And we decided to start one at a time and really have a deep and meaningful relationship instead of, you know, have a bunch of disparate activities, each of which are good, but nobody goes to anything twice. People don't really get to know us and all that. So we selected Jamaica Plain.
Well, what's not new is something that this orchestra has been doing for decades, is playing in a picturesque outdoor setting, albeit in a shed, in Tanglewood. And here it is in Franklin Park. It reminds me a little bit almost of Tanglewood, too.
It is. It's going to be, well, I hear the weather forecast is perfect, so I'm hoping that's correct. But it is going to be like Tanglewood, in fact, like one of the events we have called Tanglewood on Parade, where we have both the BSO and the Pops perform and multiple conductors and different types of music. So we have the lighter Pops music, John Williams, and we have Muller, the fourth movement of Symphony No. 1, which is a pretty serious piece of music.
Now, another piece of music, which really is also serious, but maybe not nearly as well known as Muller, is one movement from a symphony by William Grant Still, the Afro-American Symphony.
Yes, and that piece was composed in 1931, I believe, and was played a lot in that era by almost all the large orchestras across the country. And we are performing that just to kind of connect the African-American community with classical music, which, you know, is not as prevalent as it used to be at an earlier time.
Now, this program also has some pieces by John Williams that the Pops are doing, a familiar combination. Another piece that's less familiar is by Toro Marquez, a Mexican composer.
Yes, danzón, which is a type of dance that originated in Cuba but became very popular in Mexico in ballroom, you know, dancing, and Dudamel, the
Gustavo Dudamel,
yes, who's the conductor of the LA Phil, has made this piece popular again. And so we thought that would be another wonderful piece to play to connect with different people living in the Jamaica Plain area. You know, they have 2 bilingual schools there. One I went to when I was a child, the Rafael Hernandez School, so it's kind of a strange coincidence.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Kim Noltemy from the Boston Symphony Orchestra. Kim, I guess what also goes on here is the orchestra comes up with a program to meet people where they are, and I guess this sort of breaks up the routine a bit in a way, doesn't it, for people who are involved artistically at least?
Yes, you know, this is new for us to kind of co-design a program and to not say, wow, we think people would like to hear X, Y, and Z, but rather say, what would you like to hear? What would you like us to do? Do we want to collaborate on a piece of music? If someone says, let's have a Spanish program, then, you know, it could be salsa and it could be some Spanish composers or Mexican composer like we're doing at Franklin Park. And, you know, that might make it more meaningful and special to people, but we want to hear what they want.
Of course, the other thing that's going to be happening beyond this concert over the next few years, you're going to have this collaboration with arts groups in Jamaica Plain, and people are going to be getting a closer contact, I imagine, with this music, maybe hands-on with instruments?
Yes, we have what we call an instrument playground, and we'll have some of that at Franklin Park this Sunday, where kids primarily, but also adults, can try out different instruments, and someone teaches them how to make the sound. And we will bring that regularly to Jamaica Plain. We'll have our BSO musicians doing demonstrations, playing, talking about how they got into it, why it matters to them, trying to connect with kids, but trying to connect with everybody. So from, you know, concerts for very young people that are designed for 3- and 4-year-olds to seniors. We want to cover the full spectrum.
And we should finally mention to people who want, but actually, before we cut to that, what about the time when this concert is actually going to get started? In which part of Franklin Park?
So it is, the easiest way to mention it is it's close to the giraffe entrance at the zoo, because there's a road that goes right by there, and that's where those who are driving will park, and people who are walking from the various, whether bus stops or T-stops, will be coming in that way. And there's a baseball field and tennis courts. That's where the big stage will be going up. It's a huge stage that we've rented because we have to accommodate more than 100 musicians. And we will have a festival that starts from 1 to 3, local arts organizations and other citywide arts organizations. And then at 3 o'clock, the concert will start with the national anthem.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Kim Noltemy from the Boston Symphony Orchestra.